All right, everybody, welcome back to Trades and Gains. I'm your host, Max Pitts, and this is powered by Investor Central Club, the coolest and best options flow software on the market today that actually gives you insights and actionable resources. We also just dropped Apex, which is our new Greek system. Can go deeper into that, but basically it gives you GEX, it gives you theta, it gives you a footprint chart, and a bunch of other stuff that help you zero date to expiration degen contract traders give you a little more confirmation in your bias, right? Put a little more pep in your step, a little more sriracha in your noodles, right? It's Sunday, though. The fireworks are over. The champagne's flat, and Wall Street's sober enough to realize, oh, this is actually 2026. And how did the market welcome the new year? Well, not with a crash, not with a melt up, but with the financial equivalent of saying, let's just see how this goes. The Dow's flexing, the S&P's hovering, and the Nasdaq's acting like it partied too hard and needs electrolytes. And that, well, ironically, is the most honest start to a year we've had in quite some time. So let's go ahead and talk about Santa's rally hangover. The Dow Jones, it was up 319 points last week. The S&P 500 is up a polite 0.2%. And the Nasdaq basically said, can you come back to me? The takeaway here, well, old economy leadership showed up. The semis ripped, and the Mag 7, well, it looks like more like the mediocre 7. If you've heard me say that before, that is a term I've used a lot of times to describe the Mag 7 over the last year, which has been the mediocre 7, right? Because that was the fear going into the end of the year. So let's check off another prediction right for Mr. Sexy here. And guess what? That matters, because this wasn't a risk on euphoria rally. This was just pure rotation. This was not celebration. Industrials moved, financials stabilized, and semiconductors surged. Mega cap tech also stumbled, which tells you something important. This market is not pricing in a boom, it's pricing in survival right now. So let's talk about the big story this week. Jobs data is back, baby. Back at it like a crack addict. Too-matic. Anyways, week is the first real data week of 2026. No shutdown distortions, no missing months, and no we'll revise this later footnotes. And Friday's December jobs report is the headline. Expectations, payrolls are supposed to be up 55,000. Unemployment 4.5%, which is down from the 4.6%, and wage growth will still be sticky. Let's go ahead and put that into English, right? Because all that sounded like your economics teacher just droning on again, except I look better and I'm not wearing bifocals. This is not a recession jobs report, though. This is not a boom jobs report. This is a no hire, no fire economy. And what's the most uncomfortable scenario for the Fed? Well, that. Now, why? Well, because one, inflation, it's not dead. It's like a zombie at this point. It just won't die. Hiring, it's not accelerating, meaning people aren't able to get jobs. Probably not a great scenario either. And layoffs, they're not exploding either. So that means people aren't only not hiring people, but they're also not firing people, so there's no vacant jobs for them to have to hire for. That sounds great. So the Fed can't panic, but it also can't celebrate. So it's stuck in the middle. And then you have Trump who's like, well, if inflation doesn't die, we can just always hike rates. We can always hike rates. So that's great. But moving on and speaking about the Fed, there's a problem that nobody's really talking about right now, because this is the quiet landmine in 2026. Our boy, the GOAT, the legend, Mr. Bust Down himself, Jay Powell, JP, Papa Powell is leaving. And markets, if it's one thing they hate more than a missed earnings report, it is uncertainty, especially institutional uncertainty at that. Right now, traders are pricing 85% chance the Fed holds rates at 3.5 to 3.75% this month. That tells you everything. The Fed is done being proactive. They're purely reactive right now. And whoever replaces Powell, that's not just a personnel change, that's a policy tone shift at that point. Markets will front run it, bond yields will sniff it out, and equities will reprice before the press release hits. This is why jobs data matters so much this week. If labor cracks, rate cut odds explode. And if labor holds, stocks will grind, bonds will stall, and volatility compresses. And by the way, whoever we get as a new Fed chair, one requirement Trump made, which makes no sense because the central bank is supposed to be independent, said whoever gets this job will need to cut rates immediately. So there's that. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Now let's talk about AI, tech, and the perennial gale. And this is an elephant basically wearing a leather jacket and a NVIDIA logo. NVIDIA, Alphabet, these two picked up the world in the stock market, put it on their back and said, let Papa take care of ya. AI chips, steps in quantum. We can go through it, baby. We can go through it. And the debate for these two going into 2026 is simple. Is this an AI bubble or an AI infrastructure cycle? Here's the honest answer, though. It's both. This is not .com speculation. This is capital expenditure on steroids. But, and this matters, leadership is narrowing inside tech. Semis are outperforming. Software, well, it's stalling. Cloud spend is being questioned. And smaller AI names, well, good luck. Good luck. This is why rotation matters more than index direction in 2026. So what is Wall Street actually worried about? Let me be blunt, not like I always am anyways. The risk this year is not a crash. The risk is high valuations, slower growth, narrow leadership, and complacent positioning. When everyone expects 10% upside, no drama, that's when drama tends to show up, like that drunk wife from the Real Housewives that you can always count on making things messy every season, okay? And this is not because the economy collapsed, but because expectations were too clean. Crazy, right? Now, this is the game plan heading into this week, okay? Here's what matters. Monday, we get ISM manufacturing. This is still contraction territory and recession adjacent vibes. Wednesday, we're going to get ADP jobs, ISM services, jolts, and this is the Fed whisper day. And then Friday, main event. Are you ready to rumble? First up, we're going to have non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate, wage growth. This report will set rate cut odds expectation, bond direction, and equity tone for January. 2026 is not starting with fireworks. It's starting with discipline. This is a market that rewards patience, punishes narratives, and exposes lazy positioning. If 2025 was about riding momentum, 2026 is about not getting chopped up or getting lost in the sauce, as a great Gucci man once said. And that's where the real money gets made, folks. Anyways, I'm Max Pitts. This is Trades and Gains powered by Investor Central Club. Make sure you go and sign up for Investor Central Club at investorcentralclub.com. This is not financial advice. These are all just my opinions with a little bit of jokes on the side. If you like this video, go ahead and smash that like button, smash that subscribe, and I'll see you guys on live stream, which I'm on right now over on twitch.tv/free Wi-Fi radio. Love you all. Hope you're having a great Sunday. I'm going to go watch the football now. Peace.